Hey everybody, happy Monday. We made it through the weekend. Hopefully you got some sales. I know it's kind of challenging out there. Yesterday, actually had a really good day yesterday. I think I got about $200. All on eBay, no local sales yesterday. But then I watched James's video and he didn't even crack 200, and he's got 50 plus thousand. I've got about 8 between two stores, maybe a little more than 8. I should never outsell him. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've been talking to other resellers. I know their sales are brutally low. A lot of people are talking about the Labor Day update. I mean, I can't really say that I've noticed a difference since Labor Day. I don't know if it has to do with what server you're on. But we're going to take a look at a few things that have sold. I'm going to tell you one story about something that was infuriating yesterday. It was an eBay mess up. It was resolved, and it had a positive resolution. And then I'm gonna share with you, because you guys are the only people that can appreciate the story, the emails back and forth with this one particular customer. If I had more time, I would love to actually kind of make it into a skit. It's basically between me, one eBay seller, and an older Canadian buyer. Now, you can't make this stuff up. I'm gonna read his initial email, my response, and back and forth. Like I said, I would love to dress up like an old Canadian man and read his bits like that, but I don't have time right now. It's between eBay, trying to listings locally, dealing with Facebook marketplace issues, and just trying to exist as one half of me here with my wife in Australia. It's a lot to do everything as well. So let's start out with, I'll tell you the story about what happened yesterday, then we'll get into some what sold, and then I'm going to read this email. And honestly, it is only you guys can relate to this. And this is like the abuse that resellers, they take from people. And is it even worth it? Sometimes you got to ask yourself, is it even worth it? So anyhow, yesterday I woke up and got an offer for a heavy metal book. Heavy Metal is a publisher. They also published magazines back in they still publish magazines, and they have got all kinds of science fiction and fantasy kind of storylines and sci-fi stuff. It's a very interesting magazine. But they also do other books and graphic novels. So a guy made an offer on a book and two calendars by this specific cover artist, or just artist, I guess, Louis Royo, and he's kind of popular. I accepted the offer, and it was for $40. I think I had it listed for about 55. And to be honest with you, I went on Amazon and I was checking. And this book alone sells for 40, not even the calendar. So the guy was getting a deal. So it was 40 plus shipping. I accepted, he paid. I went about my business. I was watching football, and then I looked, and then I'm kidding you not, 3 to 4 hours after he purchased the item, he opened an item not received case. And I was like, well, that's odd, because you shouldn't actually be able to open an item not received case until the item is actually late. So I messaged him and I said, hey, did you open an item not received case? ? And he messages me back and he goes, no, I'm trying to cancel the order. He didn't really give an excuse. And, I'm like, so basically I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, so at that point I went in and I tried to cancel the order, but because there was an open case open, it wouldn't let me. So then I was like, so I message him and I'm like, hey, it's not letting me close the case. It's not letting me refund you or cancel the order. Can you go in and undo what you did so I can, complete the cancellation process? I don't hear anything from him. Go back to my day. I figure I'll let him deal with it on his end, and then I'll just go in and cancel the order. So about another hour goes by. I get a message from eBay that the case has been escalated to the buyer called and escalated the case. Your funds are on hold, and we'll let you know how we resolve this. Now at this point, I'm actually kind of furious now, because I know what this can lead to. Right? We all know what this can lead to. Even though seemingly nobody is in the wrong, the guy just wants to cancel the order. So I call into eBay. I explain to the guy. He says to me, he goes, so actually, I think I talked to one person and then they transferred me to another person. And both of those people basically said the same thing. They said, you don't have to do anything. The system will recognize what happened and the case will just close out and they'll refund the buyer and then you can relist your item. And I was like, no. I'm like, I know I've gone down this route before. I can see a scenario where somebody is not looking at the date, somebody's not paying attention, somebody's just looking at it and saying, oh, well, he didn't upload tracking, favor the buyer, defect on the seller. No, I'm not. I go, nothing against you, my friend. I go, this needs to be resolved now. I go, you've admitted that there was a glitch, that the buyer never should have been able to open the case. Therefore, it should never go to resolution. You should be able to override it. And he was like, So he put me on hold. I mean, he put me on hold. I was on the phone call for over 45 minutes. And as the call was getting longer and longer, I was actually getting more mad because it's Sunday, right? It's like I've got to call in and take out time out of my day to fix this problem that never should have happened. Finally, he transfers me to somebody in the leadership team, and they take care of it. Not only did they take care of it, they actually, and I don't know if they meant to do this, but they actually refunded the amount. So I was actually able to keep the $40. So I got to keep the money, and I'm able to relist the item. I wasn't expecting that, and I don't know if she was just doing that to be nice, or if they just did it and didn't think anything of it. So, but if the point of me telling you this is, be on the lookout for stuff like this, and if it gets to the point where it's saying your funds are on hold and that the case is being escalated, you really do need to call. In my opinion, you need to call in and get that fixed, because so many things can go wrong, and then having to go in and explain to another person after the fact, stories get convoluted, and it's like this mess. It's just like this web of mess that you find yourself just having to explain yourself over and over again to people. And the more time that passes between the initial event, it's difficult. So just insist to speak to somebody who has the authority to be able to, when applicable, right? In this instance, there should have been no issues. I shouldn't have had to talk to 3 different people. It shouldn't have taken over 45 minutes, but at least they did the right thing. And they did me a bit of a solid as well, which I wasn't expecting. And I'm still half thinking, are they going to take that money out? Who knows? As of now, it worked out. Okay, so I think I mentioned, I had to film this part of the video twice, so I can't remember if I mentioned, I did about 200 yesterday. That's including the $40 that eBay gave me. But I know a lot of people are talking about the Labor Day update and how things have really been wonky with their sales, and I don't know if it has to do with what server you're on. I don't know, but I was watching James, and he's had like his lowest day ever yesterday at 190, and he's got 55 plus or 55,000. I've got 8,500. I should never be outselling him. Like, I should never ever be outselling him. Has anybody out there noticed that their sales have noticeably dropped after the Labor Day? It got me thinking. So, it got me thinking about what my performance is on the two accounts, and I actually found something that was a little bit surprising. I'm actually, on my account, I'm actually up 0.1% from this time period of this year versus 2022, which I thought was a little surprising. And something else that might surprise you is my average sales price per item is $36. Because I do sell a lot of smaller items, so that was a little surprising. But the real surprise was on my wife's store, which, and I don't know how, but that store is actually at 14% this year, despite all the crap that we have been put through. And the average sale price on that store is 26, which I expected that one to be lower because I do actually sell a lot of lower priced items on that one. The thing I find the most irritating and irresponsible about eBay right now is how they keep making changes to the website and they keep using us as guinea pigs. So either they don't care, or they actually have, and I actually believe, and I said this many times, that they don't know what's wrong, they don't know how to fix it, that they're probably in panicky mode just as much as we are due to their actions. But either way, whichever it is, it's very irresponsible of them to be making the changes that they are making due to the impact that it has on its sellers. Like, it affects people's lives. And like, we didn't, there's a group of people who believe that eBay has the right to do whatever they want, right? And they do to a certain extent. But you can't mess with people's livelihoods, right? You can't make changes and then not inform sellers as to what they expect out of us, or leave us to be detectives to try to figure things out. And who knows? It's like you spend all this time trying to figure things out, and you don't even know if you're right. So you don't even know if the changes that you're making are actually having any kind of an impact. And that continues to be another one of the reasons that I don't want to go back right now and like fix every individual listing, because I think that the search is broken. And I think I know how to get my items seen. I don't. Like, for example, I want to show you something. I sold this button yesterday for $5. There's no item specifics on buttons. And you want to know what I called this? Ukulele Yes Button Vintage. Somebody found that. Which gives me hope that people can actually still find certain items on eBay just through keywords. I don't know. I just feel that it's very irresponsible of them to use us as guinea pigs on their website. I mean, am I wrong to say that? Because that's what it seems like they do. They go in and they tinker. Or they had a plan. Even if they had a plan and it went sideways, They're still using us as guinea pigs. Like, why don't they have a website that works? Like, it is so amateur that, and it's affecting people. And I think that's the big problem, is that people's financial situations are being jeopardized, people's mental situations. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to say to you. Going back to that phone call yesterday. So I was with the second person, and this is a good tip. If you're ever on with somebody on eBay and you've put the time into the call, you're like 20 to 30 minutes in, they know the situation, you've explained everything, get the reference number. Because I said to the guy, before you transfer me, can I have the reference number? Because I don't want anything to happen that we get disconnected. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, it won't get disconnected. It got disconnected. He transferred me. Silence. I'm like, hello? 15 seconds go by, dead dial tone. I was furious. I was just like, wow. Not only did I so I will demand it next time. Luckily, she called me right back. That does not often happen. I could count on one hand, I could count on probably two fingers how many times a call has gotten disconnected and they've called back. So good on them for doing that, but protect yourself, right? Always get that reference number. It's like, once you get to a point in the conversation where you feel like you've invested time and they've wrote notes on the case, and you feel like they get you and that they're on your side, but maybe they can't do anything, they don't have the authority, always get that reference number for that call. Because had she not called me back, I wouldn't have had the reference number. It might have been in there, it might not have been in there. I mean, we've seen cases where, people talk and they're told that they're going to be called back, and then, people, and then they don't, and then you call in and they're like, oh, we have no recollection of that call. So, yeah, so always get that reference number. So let's show you a couple things that sold some perfume, Marc Jacobs, sealed, $67. Nothing special about that. This is kind of cool. This is a little, I know. It's like a Dia de los Muertos, a little wedding knick-knack. I picked this up. Maria and I were on a little bit of a vacation, and we did a little thrifting, and I think I paid $2 or $3 for this. Sold it for $23 plus shipping. A repeat customer. He just bought some comics last week. He ended up buying New Teen Titans, another one of those Wonder Woman Bolin covers, and Captain Carrot, which this particular book is the first appearance of Captain Carrot, whoever Captain Carrot is. I mean, obviously a bunny. Hey, maybe I should go grab my Halloween bunny mask. $45 for those. And then I also had sold like a pair of pants and a shirt. Nothing fancy about those. I've already packaged those up. And then today was basically crickets until about an hour ago. Like I've had a couple offers, but they were pretty low ball offers, and I countered, and I don't expect them to be sold. But I know my prices on certain things, and certain items I just I'm okay to wait because I know the value. But today, first sale of the day, came about like 3 p.m. 2 of these Borderland role-playing games books. I don't really know much about them. They sold for $39 plus shipping. All right, before I get into the the email from yesterday. I wanted to read just a couple comments. Somebody said that they were talking about the earnings, because I was talking about the earnings, the earnings report that's upcoming, and how I think it's going to be, I think there's a short opportunity now, but I think if it has a dramatic drop, then it would be a buy potentially. Now the one hiccup on that is the case against eBay. That would be massive. That would be a massive drag on the stock, and I think that would actually, now that I'm thinking about it, until that's resolved, I think that would scare a lot of large investors away from taking a position in that. So it actually could add some fuel to a downside move. Somebody had made a comment, it's only a buy if the fundamentals are solid. I don't trade by fundamentals. I purely trade by the technical chart patterns, support, resistance, and other things that I use, other edges that I use, other indicators that I use. And yeah, actually, not the more I think about it, that case, until that's resolved, I think that's going to definitely weigh on the stock. Somebody asked, Pavel mentioned, he goes, you mentioned that when you sell a comic, or anything for that matter, that you offer the buyer to buy something else and make it free shipping. But if I ship several items from multiple orders of the same buyer, there is a chance the buyer can say I've never shipped the other item to them. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to paraphrase what I said. If a buyer is going to try to cheat you or take advantage of the system that's in place, they're going to find ways to do it. And in my experience, that has never happened to me. I've never had somebody where we've communicated that and they're like, okay, I'm adding this, and then they get it and they're like, it would be very obvious what they're doing. I half believe that you could utilize the messages if you guys had any sort of communication. But like I said, I do try to look to the good in everyone. And yes, there are times that I've been scammed. Yes, there are times where I knew I was being scammed. There's really nothing you can do about it. And if somebody is determined to do something, they're going to find a way to do it one way or the other. So I would rather continue to do the way that I do and benefit from the times that I do upsell versus never do it, because it is a significant amount of revenue that I get from that. So that was a repeat buy. Now I'm actually surprised that he made a buy again so fast, because he hasn't even gotten the other books yet. Normally some people will wait, and then once they get them, they'll see them and they'll take into consideration that I'm a very conservative grader, how I package things, and then they'll buy again. But and then I also wanted to thank Winter Lee for confirming that is an actual sketch. That's very helpful. I had my thought process that it was, but I also did not want to put that up there on eBay and kind of state that. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to read these. I think I have them in the right order, and kind of explain what I was thinking as I was going through. Now, he's an older fella, and he has a tendency to use caps. So if you're wearing headphones, I'm gonna raise my voice a little bit for when he used caps, because I think it will make it a little bit more funny. And yeah, I feel like there's a need, or there's a demand that people don't even know that there's a demand for, like some sort of like eBay skit show. I feel like the things that we go through, they're so funny, but they are only funny, like truly funny, to either current resellers or people who have resold in the past and they get it. Maybe it's relatable to other people, but I feel like there's a certain sort of like therapy that goes involved. Like I feel like being an eBay reseller is like being a Minnesota Vikings fan, where we just we ask for pain. We ask for like just having horrible situations happen to us. It's like become part of our fiber of our beings, right? It's like, yeah, it's the only way I can explain it. So anyhow, so he goes, hello, so I have a question. If you are in Canada, why are you charging American funds? I will await your reply, thanks. This is my wife's account. And I thought, oh man, is this somebody who had bought something off of me and we're already starting this? Did he buy it and he hadn't paid for it? I'm like trying to figure out. So I say, to what order item are you referring to? And I said, if something is overpriced, I will work with you on price where I have flexibility. As far as the currency, that is just how this account is set up. Some listings are in Canadian dollars and some are in USD, and I adjust the price depending on the value of the item. The majority of my customers are actually in the States. So if an item, is $10, I'll price it $10 USD and then the appropriate equivalent in Canadian. It's all relative. It's all the same. Hello again. I see. I am interested in the Dodge Aspen red key tag or holder, of which you have 4 of them. I will await your reply. Thanks. So the item is this red one in here. But this is what they are. And you guys have seen me. I've sold a ton of these. And then I say, are you interested in one or all 4? Because this is going to determine how I structure an offer, whether I'm willing to be flexible with my pricing. He says, I could be interested in all 4, but would have to be in Canadian dollars and more so on price. I will await your reply. Thanks. So he could be interested. And then I say, hi, this item is in demand. The value is the same whether it's in CAD or US. So the current price stands for 1 piece. However, I'm willing to offer a 30% discount for all 4. Sorry, I'm just reading Maria's messaging me. I'm willing to offer a 30% discount on all 4 by charging you in CAD. So the prices were $15 US. I was willing to give it to him for $11 US times 4 and then add and then plus shipping. So it was going to come out to be 70 total Canadian. So it was going to be like 54 or wait, 670 CAD. Now I'm confused. Okay, all you need to know is if you had bought them normally, it would have been basically $100 Canadian. So I'm giving it to him for $70 Canadian. He goes, well, I really do not think they are in demand. But with that said, I will buy them all for $60 and $10 for shipping. I will await to see what you send me as an offer for purchase. I will await your reply. And I say, okay, so the equivalent of 60 is USD 44. Make an offer for $11 with quantity 4, and I'll accept and adjust in the shipping and handling to 7, which is the equivalent of 10 Canadian. I'm trying to just make it as easy for him as possible. The point was, make an offer for 11, quantity 4, I will adjust the shipping and handling. He goes, this is all caps. This whole message is all caps. I'm not going to yell. But just imagine, would you just send me an offer for $60 plus $10 shipping in Canadian funds and try not to complaint things? I think he meant to say yeah. Otherwise, I really can get by without this purchase. If not, well, you can take all 4 to your grave with you. I do not like playing games with eBay sellers. That's all I have to say at this time. I will wait to see what you think of this. Okay? And then he sent another message. He said, well, it is like this. Take it or leave it. I am just done with you. I cannot believe the BS that happens on eBay. I really just don't care anymore what you do. And I said, I don't have an option to send you an offer like that. It's just not that I don't want to. It's that eBay doesn't allow me to. Additionally, I wouldn't be able to adjust the shipping and handling that way either. Like, yeah, I can't just send somebody a random offer and not only that, if I did, and then he paid before I could adjust the shipping and handling, then I would have to refund him the shipping and handling overage, and he would probably be upset about that. I said, I've given you a very simple way to make the offer at the agreed upon price in Canadian equivalent funds. It is irrelevant what currency it is in, as long as it's done through PayPal or your credit card and it itself adjusts. Now, at this point, I was seriously contemplating forgetting the whole transaction. You know, part of me, I was trying to go through this because I thought I had just lost that $40 sale from earlier, so I was trying to make it up with this. At that time, I didn't know that eBay had made it, and I got to keep that money. I didn't know. I didn't know that until hours later. But at this point, I'm like, do I really want, he is a classic responder. This is what I call people, buyers who question after response. They're your classic responder, and it is a massive red flag. It is such a red flag. You all know what I'm talking about. So at this point, I was like, okay, I really should just cancel, but I'm trying to push through. I'm trying to be civil. I'm trying to keep cool. I'm trying to be like, it's going to have tracking. I know my product is good. Nothing can go wrong. Let's just keep pushing forward. So he goes, this is where it gets a little weird. So eBay controls all eBay sellers. Is that what you were trying to say? If you can figure out a way to get the final eBay invoice to $60 for 4 Dodge Aspen key tags, plus shipping of $10 in Canadian funds, I will complete the purchase. Now it is in your hands. Many, many exclamations. I say, unfortunately, eBay does control all eBay buyers and what they can and can't do on the platform. I can't do what I can't do. All you have to do is make an offer for $11 and put quantity 4. I almost forgot this bit. I think a couple messages back, he did make an offer for like $6.50. And I actually think it was like maybe 1 or 2 little messages before, or maybe it was just 1 message before. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with this guy? Like, why is he picking $6.50 for making an offer when, so I counter at 11. And then he goes, and the majority of these are in caps. So he goes, what the hell is going on? Can I not make myself very clear? Here to a total amount of $60 in Canadian money as a total purchase price for all 4 keychains, as you call them, chains, Dodge, Aspens, lots of ones. I think he meant to have exclamation points. I am to the point where I have had just about enough of all this BS, but he spells it out. Either make it right or don't bother me anymore. You can keep your stuff forever, but as you say, they're in demand. Ha ha ha, I would beg to differ on that statement. At this point, I was like, you make no sense at all. I do what you want and you criticize. Sorry, I can't do business with you. And then I cancel the order because there was an open order. And I cancel the item. I take the item down so I can relist it, and I block him. I wanted to tell him that I blocked him, and I don't know if he couldn't respond because I was under the impression that if you have a current thread, it was probably as soon as I deleted that item, that ended our communication and then relisted it. So he was probably fuming that he never got a chance to respond. I really wanted to be like, look, I can't do business with you, and then I blocked you. But I didn't, because I don't really want to antagonize people even more. But what a waste of time, right? And I'm sure each and every one of you guys out there have had a similar experience with a buyer that is just so unreasonable, and you try your best to, like, I tried everything to make that sale go through. I really did. I really wanted to sell those keychains, because I would rather sell all 4 in one go than have 4 go out to 4 different orders and worry about things. But wow, what a day, huh? Like, between that and then the other thing yesterday, it's enough to drive you a little batty, I'll tell you that. Like, anyhow, I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of entertainment out of it, a little bit of knowledge. Feed that YouTube algo if you enjoy it. You know, do all the things, like, subscribe. My favorite is when the auction professor, I always get a crack out of this, when he goes at the very end, share this video with all your friends. Yeah, because my friends are want to be watching reseller content, right? I forget exactly what he says, but every time he says it, I laugh to myself, because I'm thinking, nobody is sharing their things with tell all your friends. Yeah, he doesn't say share. He says tell all your friends. I just find that so cute in an oldie kind of way, you know, to go tell all your friends about, you know, this person's channel. But anyhow, take care. Peace and blessings to you all. Hopefully this is a little therapeutic, little comedic relief. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, think of this as a extended credit scene, bonus what sold. I was just getting ready to edit the video, put it together, and then I sold this, Powers of Numbers by Mary Vala. And as you can see, it is in brutal condition, but I mean, someone wants to read it and they can't find it anywhere else. I mean, this is why people go to eBay. This is why I like selling on eBay. Mary, V-A-L-L-A. This sold for almost $20, including shipping and handling. Got this out of that massive lot over the summer. It's just about numerology. I mean, I was going to show you the insides, but the title or the table of contents doesn't really tell you anything for those of you who might be interested in this kind of stuff. But yeah, $20 shipped. Cool stuff. Later.